Oh boy. One of my YouTube videos definitely aged like milk, I'll tell you that. And the YouTube video I'm talking about is the one I made about Louise in recovery 5 months ago. So this is the YouTube video in question of me talking about how Louise was getting horrifically bullied. But I found out something. Apparently, Louise isn't that good of a person either. Excuse the fact I am super sunburnt. I went to a fair today. But Louise is not like as good of a person as I thought they were. Which, looking back now, I'm kind of embarrassed that I ever fucking supported them in the first place. I still wish nothing but the best for them, but what they are doing right now, I absolutely cannot support. Especially with more recent shit that has come out about them. So, before I begin this video, this is the last time I will warn you guys. This video will have some very triggering shit. The Doge is barking. Not my Doge, it's my roommate's Doge. But anyway, so I'm gonna have to warn you guys one last time before you guys decide to continue watching this video. If you click off or you stop when you hear a triggering topic that is specifically triggering to you, that is perfectly fine, but please do not force yourself to watch this video if you get triggered by any of the following. Drugs, both legal and illegal. I guess alcohol falls under drugs, so I'm just gonna say drugs. Child abuse, sexual abuse / rape. Manipulation, bullying, self-harm, suicide, eating disorders, animal abuse, death, and eating disorders, and that's pretty much a lot of the things that go on. There might be additional ones, so you should probably not watch this video just in case there is anything I forgot to mention in the trigger warning. But again, this is your last chance. Click off now if you get triggered by anything that I just mentioned or anything that could potentially trigger you in this video. Please click off now, because this is probably going to be the most triggering video I've ever made. Not for me, but for anybody who could be watching. So yeah, this is your last chance. Please click off if you're uncomfortable. So there might be some triggering imagery in this video as well. I will try to censor some of it, but there's only so much I can do. So keep that in mind. But before I fully get into the meat and potatoes, as Nuxtaku would say in this video, I would like to also give you guys additional things to keep in mind. Please respect Louise's pronouns. If you choose to purposefully disrespect their pronouns, you're not a fucking ally of the LGBT community. You are a performative activist, because you are only choosing to respect people you like respect their pronouns, the people you like's pronouns. So that's the first thing. Second thing is do not harass anybody involved. Except for Kyle. You could go after him all you want. The reason why I only said that it's okay to harass one person, well, you'll know why I say that. Because if you've been on my channel long enough, you'll know why I said only one person you could harass. Another thing is that if you think that B lied about her allegations about Kyle like sexually assaulting her, you can go to hell and go ahead and block me and unfollow me, because I do not want rape apologists on any of my platforms. So I am going to make that very fucking clear. Alright, so let's get into this shit. So, who is Louise in recovery? Louise in recovery, formerly known as Maya, and also known as Louise Payne. By the way, if I misgender Lou, it's completely on accident because they had recently changed their pronouns to they, them, like a couple months ago. So I do apologize. I never, ever mean to do it on purpose. Louise in recovery, they started their TikTok account in, I believe, June of 2019. That was when I first saw their content, was in June 2019, I believe. It was somewhere around the summertime, I know that for sure. Either the summer or fall, I don't remember. Louise wanted to document their recovery. However, what I did not know up until recently was that their account is not a fucking recovery account. It's a mental health, mental illness glamorization account disguised as a recovery account, which I had recently learned that it's actually extremely common for accounts to do that, because that's how they avoid getting banned online. That's how they avoid getting banned. But Louise Payne started posting in 2019 to spread awareness about mental health. It started off with them just simply telling their story online of how they've been hospitalized dozens of times for self-harm or suicide attempts, and how they were diagnosed with multiple mental disorders, one of the most extreme mental disorders being BPD, and also they were diagnosed with PTSD from being sexually assaulted. Sorry, I'm fidgeting with this. They also would duet other people occasionally that were actual recovery accounts. So they also did occasional video, normal videos, such as a get ready with me video and a brush my teeth with me, I brush your teeth with me video, and other videos like that, pretty normal vlog style videos. But what I never noticed until recently was I started noticing very odd things in their videos. Sometimes their pupils would look really, really small, and they would have white specks in their eyes. And I didn't think anything of it, because I know some people's medications could do that to them, because I've had medications. Sorry, I hiccuped. I've had medication to do that to me before, and Like, right now, you could probably see that my pupils are slightly dilated because my medications cause my pupils to change a little, but not a whole lot. Also, I'm sorry if I sound kind of stuffy. I'm getting over a cold. But, Louise basically, like, one day in 2022, I believe, this is when the first fuck up happens. Louise was caught in public cheating on their, at the time, girlfriend with one of their friend's boyfriends. Yeah. And although, yeah, I was like, yeah, that's fucking bad, but a lot of people do dumb shit, so maybe that was just a one-time thing. Then I started finding out that they, like, smoked cigarettes with fans, which is the second thing I found out. I'm not gonna lie, I do have a bad habit of seeing red flags and painting them white, essentially, or even green. So I thought, oh, like, maybe their fan mentioned that they do also smoke, so they decided to smoke a cigarette with them because they met a fan of theirs, and, like, maybe that's a polite thing that smokers do. So I gave them the benefit of the doubt there. But then I found out that fan was a 14-year-old kid. And I, like, my dumbass decided to give them the benefit of the doubt. Again, I was like, maybe they didn't know they were 14 because they didn't really act or look 14. So maybe they genuinely did not know. Yeah. That's pretty bad. But it gets so much worse from here. Believe me, it gets so much worse. Louise then starts dating a guy named Isaiah. But then they break up because, according to Louise, Isaiah cheated on them with one of their friends. Which I don't know how much of that is true, because I started to notice things that Louise was saying was inconsistent. And I thought, it's probably their BPD, because I have friends who have BPD, and a lot of them struggle with really bad memory. Like, a lot of my friends with BPD have really, really horrible memory, to the point where they will completely forget, like, what happened 5 minutes ago. So I thought, oh, maybe that's what happened. Because Louise has mentioned that they have BPD and ADHD, so I gave them the benefit of the doubt again. Couple more things start happening, and I kept brushing it off, being like, okay, they are still young. I know I'm still young. Young people in general do really fucking dumb things. I'll be real. I've done some fucked up, like, mostly dumb, but once in a while fucked up things, because that's part of growing up. I mean, you do fucked up shit, then you learn from it. But then I found out some information like a month ago that made me question if I should have ever supported them. And it took me a couple weeks up until, like, several days ago when I finally realized what was, like, I put all the pieces together and I kind of figured out what the fuck was going on. In May of this year, Louise started dating a man named Kyle. Now, at first, I was really happy for them. Like, oh my god, they found someone. Like, he happens to be an addict. He happened to have gone through trauma too. So maybe they could help each other in their recovery. I then saw the comment section and I noticed something off. A lot of people were angry at them and calling them a rape apologist, and I was really confused. I was like, they found someone. I'm confused. Like, why would people comment that? I was like really confused because people were just randomly saying that without giving any contexts. And when I kept asking people for contexts, a lot of them were hella rude to me. They're like, well, I bet you're a rape apologist. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I genuinely did not know what the fuck was going on. So then, one person basically DM'd me and said, yo, like, you should probably DM this girl B, and she will tell you if this happened to her or not. So I was like, B, who the hell is that? And so I decided to DM this girl on Instagram, and I was like, I'm sorry to ask you this. Feel free to not answer if you don't want to. But is it true that Kyle did XYZ to you? Like, basically one person explained to me that Kyle had raped her and also broke her ribs. 6 of her ribs, I believe. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up, isn't it? B then replied to me saying, yes, he did break my ribs. And like, he raped me, basically. That's what she responded with. And I was like, oh my god. But my dumbass still chose to support Louise because I thought maybe they don't know. Maybe they either genuinely do not know or they're being manipulated. So for like a couple more months later, I think, a month at most, actually, like maybe 2 months, I kept like DMing them being like, yo, like, get out of this relationship. This girl said she was raped by this guy. I don't want this to happen to you too. More recently, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I found out Louise actually already knew he was a rapist long before they decided to date him. And they chose to believe him over their, at the time, friend. Yikes. Yeah. That's really not good, huh? And B even tried to warn them. In Snapchat, they DM'd them, and I cannot show the whole DM because some of them might be a little too graphic. I don't know if I could show it on YouTube, but I could describe what I saw in the DM. B basically said, hey, like, Louise, you need to get out of this relationship. This guy raped me, he broke my ribs, and he left me to die when I was having a seizure from a drug overdose. And Louise pretended to not have any idea. They basically said, oh my god, I did not know. I am so sorry. I will break up with him. The thing is, they lied about breaking up with him. They chose to keep seeing him. And then B finally had enough and broke off the friendship, which is well within her right. So, Louise threw away a friendship for a rapist. And possibly a killer, because there are people saying that somebody did die because of Kyle, but it hasn't really been fully confirmed by police or anything like that. So I don't think I could make a comment about that. it was then, like, shortly, like, after that Louise posted a picture, and I noticed something very sus in that picture. It was a meth pipe. I honestly thought at first it was a marijuana pipe, which I was like, okay, whatever, people smoke weed all the time. I occasionally smoke weed, so I'm not gonna judge. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh my god, that's so bad, because I'm like, what the fuck ever, who cares? If the drugs that you're doing are legal, like, and you're being responsible for them, I don't give a fuck if you post them on the internet. Like, I've posted videos and photos of me drinking alcohol and, like, smoking weed before, and I'm not being dangerous, I'm not being reckless with it, because I am in a safe, like, using site for these things and a appropriate time and place, and I make sure that there are other people around me to keep me safe and make sure that I do not get taken advantage of in that state. More photos and videos started to surface that makes the situation 10 times worse. Louise was caught in several photos using meth and heroin and Xanax, I believe, and also fentanyl with minors. Yeah, it gets so much worse from here, don't worry. And I cannot show those photos or videos on my channel because it has a fucking meth pipe in it, so I don't want my video being taken down. Yeah. There was a meth pipe in the video, there was a crack pipe. I believe I saw a line of cocaine too. I believe I did, but I don't know if anyone else did, but I think I saw a line of cocaine. And don't worry, it gets worse. Louise also encouraged minors to do drugs with them. They even tricked a minor into doing meth. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. One person who spoke to me in my DMs, I will keep all the minors involved anonymous because a lot of them don't want their identities revealed. This one minor, she came forward to me and she told me that Louise tricked them into doing meth and that they told her that it was weed, but it was actually meth. Louise, what the fuck? They also encouraged people to self-harm. They encouraged people to engage in eating disorder behavior. They encouraged people to kill themselves. And they would glamorize self-harm and suicide. And I'm like, as someone who struggles with self-harm, like, if someone encouraged me to keep doing it or told me I was doing a good job self-harming, that is so fucking triggering. Because I used to be in a pro-self-harm community. I'm ashamed of it now, but I know that, like, when people, like, told me to do that shit, that I was doing a bad job at self-harming or a good job, yeah, that triggers the shit out of me. And I'm sure that it probably triggered the people involved in this situation more because the majority of them are minors. Another minor came forward with almost identical, like, allegations, except Louise encouraged them to snort cocaine and also fentanyl. And this minor has stated that they were drugged and raped by Kyle. And, well, I believe it was Kyle. I don't know if they said it, if it was Kyle or not. I don't remember. And then they woke up to Louise having sex with that man right in front of them. Keep in mind, they're a minor. Louise also ended up getting a pet fish more recently, and they named it Jib. And at first I was like, well, I mean, at least they're keeping the fish fine. And like they named it something cute, and then people got really mad at the name, and I was like, why are people getting mad at the name? And like I asked a friend of mine who is Canadian, like an online friend of mine that is Canadian, and he was like, Star, do you know what jib means? And I'm like, no, what does it mean? And he's like, dude, that's a slang term for fucking heroin and fentanyl. It's a Canadian slang term for drugs that are downers. And so I was like, you gotta be fucking shitting me. And I looked it up. Sure enough, it is a slang term for fentanyl, I believe. Basically, Louise named their fish after their drug of choice, which is really fucked up. Louise then also put a crystal in the fish tank. And if you know anything about crystals, one, you are not supposed to put a crystal in fucking water. That's how you wear down a crystal. I would know because I am collecting crystals. And also any type of oil can wear down a crystal. And two, certain types of crystals, not all of them, but a very large amount of them, are very toxic to fish, especially betta fish. Now, I will also be showing some photos and video evidence of everything that Louise has done. Well, except for the more, like, graphic shit that I can't show on YouTube. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, and also Louise cyberbullies people, too. This was a DM between Kyle and another person, by the way. This one is not Louise, but the last one before this one was Louise, by the way. This video is basically Louise and Kyle simulating sex to mock all of Kyle's victims. This is Kyle basically lying about what happened to B and basically making up bullshit lies about B.
I just wanted to get on here and say, of course, I believe her. No, I never broke up with Kyle. I just said I did. And I personally know that he did not do this.
Have you been seeing content about Louise but unsure who they are? Please remember Louise uses they, them pronouns.
Now, this video is basically a conversation between Louise and their mother explains why their content is not good for anyone, including Louise themselves.
If you'd like me to post just misery or me, I don't want you to post any of this. I never have. Why? I have never wanted you to post all your personal. I'm trying to spread awareness. That is different. That is not different. That's the same thing. While you've given out so much private information, that's because I'm trying to spread awareness. Well, I think I'm not gonna. Yeah, no, I know you do. I've seen some of your videos, but I'm not sure you're practicing like you're saying. I'm working on it.
In this video, Louise does post fresh self-harm wounds, so I don't think I'll be able to censor this one due to the fact that, well, it's a video. It's easy for me to censor photos, but not videos. So again, if you get triggered by fresh self-harm, either close your eyes or click off of this video or just listen to this video. And more recently, people are finally seeing through their lies, myself included, and everyone seems to be calling them out on all of the things they have done. And Louise, unfortunately, refuses to apologize for it. And Louise has admitted to losing their virginity to a much older man who paid to have his way with them. They basically prostituted themselves for fentanyl, which is devastating. They do spread a harmful stereotype that drug addicts are more often prostitutes, which the majority of the time that is not the fucking case. A lot of drug addicts either steal from their friends and family, or they work multiple jobs just to support their habits, or they sell their own items, or they do under-the-table jobs. Louise has also spread multiple other, dangerous stereotypes about mental health, such as people with BPD being manipulative and abusive, and people who have drug addictions protecting abusers, and much more horrendous things. And if you are a victim of Louise's or Kyle's, I am so sorry that any of this ever happened to you.